Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and this weekend I am going on my very first ever backpacking trip. So I'm going on my first backpacking trip, but I'm not going alone. My partner Ed is going to be going with me, and it is both of our first backpacking trip. We have both gone on plenty of day hikes together and before we met each other, and we have both gone camping before. We actually got to go camping together early last month, so we've both done the camping and the hiking part, but now we are going to embark on the wonderful hybrid of the two, which is backpacking. So I decided I would do a newbies cobbled together gear list, and see what suggestions, give some other people some ideas of what they can do to get out on their first backpacking trip, and just do whatever. So this gear list is definitely, like I said, cobbled together. Some of the things we own, a lot of the things we're borrowing. Luckily we didn't have to rent anything for this trip, but we did buy a couple new things. Some of it we had already, and some of it had been given to us. So definitely a variety of where these things are coming from, and because they are borrowed or older or whatever, it's not like brand new top of the line stuff. A lot of it is going to be bulkier and heavier than is maybe desirable, especially because we're going to be backpacking in the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, and there are no water sources in the dunes, so we're going to have to be packing in about 22 pounds of water for the two of us, which is a lot of weight already. So this is going to be an interesting trip. Obviously the trip out is going to be a lot lighter between the food and the water being gone, so at least I've got that to look forward to, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. Let's just go. I've got all of our gear laid out. I've got like a his and hers stack kind of going. So I figured I would just go through both of our gear, what we're using. So let's start with the backpacks. I inherited my backpack from some really good family friends of ours. Unfortunately, one of those family members can't go backpacking anymore, so they graciously let me have their backpack. So this backpack is not made anymore, unfortunately. This is the North Face Stamina pack. I was a little frustrated when I was trying to see if they did still make it, mostly just because I wanted to know how many liters it holds. It's a pretty big bag though. It's also got this detachable day pack, and the brain comes off as well. And actually the clips where the brain comes off, you can actually clip it back to itself and make it like another detachable day pack, which we will probably use because we are planning on doing some day hiking on this trip. So I will probably use this one. I'll probably let my partner Ed use this as a detachable day pack. So that's my bag, and then his bag we found at the at our local REI in the used section for a pretty good deal. It's an Osprey Exos pack. It's a 58-liter pack. It's got the super nice ventilation on the back, which makes me very jealous because my pack does not have as much ventilation. It's very cushiony, and it's still, mesh foam and all that, but it is not quite like this. So we're really happy we found this. Also, one of our favorite colors is blue, so we also managed to find it in blue, very gently used for a really good price, so that was awesome. So those are the packs, and then for our shelter we are borrowing the Eureka Apex XT tent from, again, one of our good family friends, actually the same family that gave me my backpack and my sleeping bag are the same ones who are letting us borrow a bunch of their gear for this trip, which is awesome. The patriarch of the family is also involved in the Boy Scouts for his sons, so they've actually been backpacking a lot, which is why they own some of this gear, and they've actually been able to give us some really awesome tips and pointers for our first trip. So they're letting us borrow this tent. It is a 2-person tent. I don't know how much it weighs, I'm sorry. That's another thing, is unfortunately, since a lot of this gear is borrowed or older, I don't have the packaging, some of it isn't made anymore, etc., so I don't know some of the stats on all of this, but I will weigh my packs and Ed's pack once I have them all packed up. But 2-person tent, right, yeah. And then something that we got for the tent are some sand stakes. We got 6 of them. Probably only going to use 4 of them for the tent, and we're probably going to use the last 2 actually as trowels. These are only 1 ounce each. These are the REI sand stakes. They're about $6 a piece, which I don't know. I don't have a good frame of reference for if that's a lot or not for steaks. But we have been to the sand dunes before. We stayed at the lodge, and it could get pretty windy and stormy in the evening. So just for the sake of our tent not blowing away, especially while we're like out on a day hike or something, we got some sand stakes to hopefully lock her in place better. So bringing these. And like I think I mentioned, they're only an ounce each, so all those are only 6 ounces. I do know the weights on a couple things. Okay, what next? Sleeping pads. Ed's sleeping pad, I already attached to his backpack and I don't feel like taking it off, is a Swiss Gear one. I couldn't find like a specific model name, sorry, but he's using a Swiss Gear one. It doesn't pack out any smaller than that. It is a self-inflating foam pad. It's kind of nice though because it has a pillow like integrated into the pad. The part that makes up the pillow is just made of a thicker self-inflating foam, which is really cool. You don't have to pack a separate pillow because I don't have a pillow. I'm probably just going to use one of my down jackets in a stuff sack as a pillow. So that's his sleeping pad. The one I am going to be using is an old Thermarest one that I have already squished down. I managed to fold it into thirds. It is also self-inflating. I don't know the R value on it, but it's probably not super high because there are a lot of these big diamond cutouts into the foam. That's where the foam is cut, and those little diamonds are where the foam actually is. So it's probably only like 2. The temperature is going to be high 60s to low 70s during the day, and it's going to be 40s in the 40s, mid to high, maybe just mid 40s during the night, which isn't too cold, so hopefully it'll be fine. We've also got some pretty beefy sleeping bags for the season, so hopefully we'll be fine. And if not, I'm packing an extra blanket. So that's our sleeping pads. Our sleeping bags are buried under all of our clothes, so I will get to that last part of the big 3 closer to the end of the video. Sorry. For what I'm going to be wearing while we're hiking, I own a lot of athletic wear because I like to run and lift weights and things like that. So the nice things that athletic wear can be really good for hiking because it's meant to wick sweat away from you. So I'm just going to be wearing a running shirt, a nice sports bra with some nice mesh on the back because it's going to be very sweaty, and then just some running shorts for the day. And Ed, we were able to pick up some gear on sale recently from REI, which is really nice because we're kind of balling on a budget here. So we were able to grab a proper pair of hiking pants for him. These are from Cool. They are the Silencer, Cool Silencer pants. He has gone on a day hike in these before and he really liked them. They are a lot thinner and lighter than his jeans. I kept lecturing him about wearing jeans on hikes because, you know, cotton. So we picked up some hiking pants for him, so he's going to be wearing these for the hike. And then for his shirt, he's opting for a long-sleeved Patagonia shirt that, again, light, quick drying, keep the sun off his arms. So that's what he's going to be wearing. And then he is opting for some compression socks. I told him they're fine as long as they're synthetic, and they are, so they're not going to hold any water. And I just recently picked up some wool socks from Smart Wool, so I'm going to be testing these out, which seem, one thing that I really like about them already is that the cushioning goes up the back of the heel a little bit where the back of your shoe might rub on your ankle, so that's really nice. So I'm looking forward to testing these. I got these ones as well. I don't remember what brand. Expel It from Sierra for cheap. So I have, these are both wool socks, so I got those. And we're both gonna have hats to keep the sun off our face while we're day hiking. For my pajamas, again, I like to run, and my first half marathon that I did was in Montana in February, so very cold. So I have this Mizuno running shirt and some leggings that are both meant for cold weather. These leggings actually have like a double layer, and this is a thermal shirt. So these are going to be my pajamas. And Ed's pajamas, again on sale, we were able to grab some base layer wool bottoms. The inside are nice and brushed and warm, so, and they're long pants. So those are going to be his pajama pants, and then he's just got a sport shirt from Reebok, just a short sleeve for his top. And then sleep socks, very important. Ed has some nice thick wool socks for him to sleep in to keep his little toesies warm, and I have these very old and very abused cabin socks. I found them at Dick's Sporting Goods. Once upon a time, there was an outer layer that was, really cute and had like a scene of like deer in the snow or something like that, but I wore them so much and have had them for so long that I wore holes through the whole bottom of the sock, so at that point I just cut off that outer layer, but the inner layer is still nice and warm, and now it's a little bit thinner than it used to be, so these are going to be my sleep socks. For a mid-layer, I've got this old Nike hoodie that again is meant for cold weather, but it's still meant for you to sweat in. I believe it was called the Element at the time. I tried to find it on their website again, but I don't think they make this exact style anymore, but it's got that sort of waffly pattern on the inside that is meant to help you trap in heat. And it also has a little bit that can fold over your hands and act like gloves if you need it, but I'll be packing gloves, so I shouldn't need it. So that is going to be my mid-layer, and then Ed's is going to be this polar fleece. Polar fleece red plaid. It's definitely not the most packable thing in the world, but it's not cotton and it's what he has, so it's what we're bringing. And then for our puffy, super warm layer that hopefully one won't need, but again, just in case it does get cold in the desert at night, I've got a down vest from Under Armour that I was able to find on sale at Bass Pro, so this is what I picked up. And he was able to snag a Patagonia down vest on sale as well. So we both got a puffy vest as our last layer. And then for our rain layers, I got this raincoat in high school, like my freshman year of high school, from Eddie Bauer, but it has all the things that you could possibly ask for in a raincoat. It's got pit zips, it's got a chest pocket, it's got ventilation in the pockets because they're made of mesh, so when you open the pockets when it's raining you can let some heat out, and it's got all the adjustable bungees to help the hood really cinch in and keep all that water out, and it's got Velcro on the sleeves so I can keep water out of my arms as well, and it cinches down at the hips too. So hopefully this will last me several more years yet, but this is mine. And Ed has got this rain poncho that he is going to be bringing. I think he probably got it from like a military surplus store. That's where he's definitely gotten some of his outdoor gear, so I think that's where this is from as well. We are also bringing, for sleep and or just general warmth, beanies. This is actually a buff that Ed has in a beanie configuration. It's just a beanie that I got during some stuff with this charity in Colorado Springs called Urban Peak. Pretty cool. And then we're both going to be bringing some gloves as well. These are just cheap ones from Walmart. I picked these ones up from REI, so they're a little more durable and a little bit nicer than mine, but again, we're working with what we have. Bandanas, because you never know, there's a million and one things you can do with a bandana, so I like to always have one. I suspect 90% of the time mine will have a little bit of water in it and be hanging out on the back of my neck, so my neck doesn't get sunburned, and so I can stay a little bit cooler, but we'll both have a cotton bandana. And last but not least, for stuff I'll be wearing, my sick-ass shades. I actually want to get some different ones for hiking and camping because these ones are really big, so they actually touch my cheeks, which is fine for when you're driving, but when you're working up a sweat, my lenses get fogged up. Have gotten fogged up when I've gone on hikes with them before. So, and Ed's got some that like magnetize to his glasses because he wears glasses, so those are his. Let's talk about cooking. We picked up a MSR pocket rocket, so we're gonna be, this is our stove, picked up some fuel for it. Again, since we haven't gone backpacking before, I'm not entirely sure if this will be enough fuel. We opted for the 8-ounce can instead of the 4-ounce can, so hopefully it will be enough for 2 people for 3 days and 2 nights. We are only heating up water. We're not doing any fancy cooking. We've got oatmeal for breakfast, so we'll heat up water for that, and then we've got some backpacker dehydrated meals for dinner, so we'll be heating up water for them too. Hopefully this will be enough. If not, we can just cold soak our food. It'll work out either way. We've also got plenty of bars, and our lunch is no-cook food, so we'll figure it out. For a pot, we are actually going to be using this super old mess kit that I've had since I was a Girl Scout. Okay, so I've had this since I was like 8 to 12, somewhere in there. But this is actually kind of cool. It stacks together pretty nicely, but it's all metal. So can all be used for heat. So in this, okay, in this little bit unscrews, you fold it out. So got your first bowl here, which again you can just use as a pan as well to boil things in. Got a second bowl / pan in there, and then a measuring cup / cup, lid for that pot that can hang, and then this, once you cinch that back down, can work as a frying pan. So since we won't need that much water boiled at one time, I'm just going to use these to boil water, and since it's what we have. So I've also got a little utensil set that nest together and then link up with these little notches that are in them. And then Ed is packing a plastic fork so that he can eat his food. Let me pack this back up. One other thing about backpacking in the Great Sand Dunes is that there are no sticks, trees, not a lot of bushes. There's some like shrub bushes, but there's really not a lot of vegetation around. So in an emergency, we would not be able to make a fire. So instead of packing like a fire starter and, you know, extra stuff to help you start a fire, we are going to be packing some emergency Mylar blankets, some hand warmers, and some like drink packets for hot drinks. So for Ed, that's tea. For me, that's hot cider and hot cocoa, and those are in the food section of this video. But just so you know, our emergency heat sources are going to be these. TP and hand sanitizer, can't forget those. Ed's got these little ones that don't have a cardboard core or anything, so nice and small and lightweight. So pretty cool. The tried and true repair kit of paracord and some duct tape that I rolled onto itself. There's about 5 feet of duct tape rolled up in there. Extra batteries for my headlamp and for Ed's flashlight. Speaking of headlamp, flashlight. Now, part of the point of this trip is that we are going when there is a full moon, so we probably won't even need these because at night, unless it's really overcast, it's still going to be really bright out. I'm so excited. Literally, that's why we're doing this trip this weekend, is because the full moon is going to be Saturday. So it's going to be just gorgeous. It's going to probably look like snow, I imagine. I'm incredibly excited for it. And on their website, the National Park Service website, they do ask you to try and keep artificial light sources to a minimum, no matter what moon cycle or time of the year it is, because when there is less moonlight, you can actually see the Milky Way in the Great Sand Dunes, and when there isn't, it's a whole different kind of beautiful moonlit landscape, and you can do some stargazing and moon gazing. So hopefully we won't really need to use these, but this is just a regular flashlight from Ozark, so Walmart. And this one, Rayvac? I don't know. My mom found it in an old bin and asked if I wanted it, and I said yes. And I'm really excited because it has a red light mode, which is super nice, and then it has the white light mode, and then like a flashlight, floodlight mode, and it also adjusts so you can have it pointing down by your feet instead of accidentally just flashing people in the face at night. So that'll be good. For our navigation, I printed out a map of the Great Sand Dunes. I believe they'll also hand us a map at the entrance, the park entrance, but the map is in here. Our itinerary is printed on the other side, and then I've got our permit printed out, and I've got a pencil and my compass in here as well. Oh, and this plastic thing is actually packaging from a dry bag that Ed was able to pick up. Excuse you. Sorry, the cats are going crazy right now. That Ed was able to pick up from his work, so I'm just reusing it to keep that paper safe in case it does rain. Boys, calm down. Ed and I are both going to have pocket knives. Ed's bringing a compass as well. We're going to be sitting either just in the sand or on these little foam sit pads. So these are the Nemo chipper pads. They're just made out of old pieces that they cut off for sleeping pads. So this is basically just a piece of like Z-Lite power bank. This was a gift from my roommate for me graduating with my master's, so thank you, Rachel. It can recharge by solar power. It's not the go-to method of recharging. If you need it, it can, but they do recommend you just plug it into the wall. It is also a flashlight, and it can wirelessly charge your phone as well, which is pretty cool. So this is my power bank. This can recharge my phone like 2 to 3 times. So we probably don't need more than this because our phones will be in airplane mode for most of the time since we won't have a signal anyway. But I do have another power bank that is actually charging up right now that's about the size, a little bit bigger than like a lipstick tube, that Ed is going to be packing as well. Some other kind of small items. I'm bringing my travel size Nano Puff Rumple blanket. Nano Loft puffy blanket from Rumple, just in case it does get cold. And actually last time we went camping, I ended up putting it just like under my neck as a pillow for like neck support overnight, and that actually felt better than my down vest and a stuff sack, so I might just end up using it as a pillow. But whatever I need it for, I'll have it. A couple other small items, a little hairbrush with hair tie, a little travel sized toothbrush that just folds back into itself so I don't have to cut the handle off, and travel sized toothpaste, deodorant, chapstick, that kind of thing. Oh, sunblock. Definitely packing sunblock. Sunblock for face and body. And now our water situation. Like I mentioned, we have to pack in all of our own water, so we have got my reservoir, which holds 2 liters. Ed's reservoir, which holds just shy of 3 liters. Nalgene is going to hold another liter. About 1.5 liters between these two that Ed is going to be carrying. And last but not least, a gallon of water. I'm not super stoked about having to pack in a literal gallon of water, especially one in a container that doesn't collapse, but we don't have any other kind of water bag or anything like that, so this is what we're doing. Okay, finally, down to the sleeping bags. I have unburied the, eye mask for Ed. Again, it's going to be a full moon, it's going to be pretty bright, and Ed does not sleep very well if the light level is too high, so we're bringing an eye mask for him just so he can get some good sleep. Okay, sleeping bags. This is mine. This is a 0 degree synthetic bag, so it's pretty big. It doesn't collapse down very much. It accommodates up to a 5'6" foot human. It is a women's sleeping bag, so that's why it's short. I'm 5'7", so it's a wee bit snug, but I fit just well enough. So I've got this. It is from LL Bean. I don't believe they make it anymore. Again, I tried to look it up on LL Bean's website, so I don't think this one's made anymore, but I do know that it is a 0 degree bag. This one, Ed is borrowing. It is also a synthetic bag. I can't find the temperature rating anywhere on this bag, and they didn't tell me what it was, but I'm willing to bet it's either a 15 or a 0 degree, just by A, how bulky it is, and B, because we live in Colorado, and this family that we're borrowing it from also lives in Colorado, it can get pretty cold at night, especially if you're anywhere close to early spring or getting anywhere close to fall. It can get pretty chilly at night, so I'm betting it's either 15 or 0. One of the other things that we are having to bring on this trip because of where we're going is actually a bear can. We are by no means expecting to encounter any kind of bear in the Great Sand Dunes, but again, because there isn't really anywhere to hang a food bag, I don't want to just leave the food out, because even though there aren't any bears, there are rodents. There are kangaroo rats that live in the sand dunes. So if we just left a food bag on the ground, that would leave it open to rodents, and there's nowhere to hang it from. So the only solution that we could think of was to borrow a bear can. So let me crack this open and show you guys what we're going to be eating for 3 days and 2 nights. All right, here is our food situation. So from the top to the bottom, I've got 2 breakfasts of oatmeal for me, 2 lunches of these nut and seed butters that are going to go onto these tortillas, and then we're going to be there for 2 dinners, and then have a backup 3rd meal in case something happens and we're out there for longer, or maybe we just are more hungry than we think we are. Hot drink mixes. Like I said, no emergency fires, so if we start to get hypothermia, we're going to have a hot drink. These are my bars for day hiking and whatever, just snacks, little caffeinated jelly beans as well. And then on Ed's side, he's got oatmeal for breakfast as well. Same thing for lunch, nut and seed butters, and then the dehydrated meals for dinner. We were trying to try out a bunch of like different flavors because we really haven't had many of these. So I was going for like a bunch of different brands too. I've had the 3-bean chili mac, so I know I like it, which is why it's my backup. I'm really looking forward to this pad thai. We'll see about the mushroom risotto. And he's got bars and stuff as well, and he's got honey stingers for an additional snack. We've got trail mix and some electrolyte packets for our drinks as well. And then his hot drink of choice is Earl Grey tea, and his Yeti is one of his luxury items. And those are all going to be going into the bear can. All right, that is my 3 days and 2 nights gear loadout list for my partner Ed and myself for our very first backpacking trip. So if you have any pieces of advice, things that you would do differently, etc., leave it down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe if you want to see the actual trip itself, and I'll see you next time.